Mike Thompson, and I'm Regional Wildlife Manager for Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
Okay, Mike, busy season is ahead for you folks. I know some of the hunting seasons are already underway, but the general rifle season is coming up this weekend. What can you tell me about the rifle season? For instance, just the general things, its length, and what type of things it covers, what type of wildlife?
Well, the general hunting season starts on Saturday. It runs for about 5 weeks. Runs through the Sunday after Thanksgiving. That's the traditional end date. So we actually count back from the Sunday after Thanksgiving as each year goes by to try to set the opening date. That's the traditional closing week. And so it's that time of year when we're hunting mule deer, white-tailed deer, elk, and of course the special trophy seasons have been going on for some time by permit only for bighorn sheep and moose and those species.
Now, for those who are going to be out hunting, who maybe are not quite as experienced as those who have been doing it for years and years, what kind of things do we have to do to get ready before we go into the field legally, as far as licenses, things like that?
Oh, make sure and read your regulations to start with. Know that you need a license for everything that you hunt. So if you don't have one, for example, you need a elk license and you need a deer license, and anything that you're going to hunt, you need a license for it. And so you can get it at Fish, Wildlife, and Parks headquarters Monday through Friday, or you can get it at a variety of sporting goods dealers across this part of the state.
Let's talk about safety a little bit now, Mike. Obviously, Hunter's Orange is absolutely required. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, you definitely want to be seen, and you want to know. It's critical that you know your background, and this gives a hunter a fair chance to see a person in the background when they draw down on an animal. We just don't want any accidents out there. What a way to ruin a person's life. So we want to be safe out there.
Absolutely. How about what happens once we bag our animal and we're getting ready to head home?
You want to field dress it immediately, and you want to be prepared to do that. I think you can find online, just by using Google, you can find lots of information and demonstrations on how to field dress an animal. You want to get it cooled down. Get the entrails out of the animal. Get it cooled down as quickly as you can. A lot of people take the hide off at that point in time, and you need to be prepared to get that animal out of the field. Lots of times people new to the sport think of the hunt, but really the work starts when you're trying to retrieve and take care of the meat. That's perhaps the most demanding part of the whole experience. And
I'm sure that there are some predators out there who'd be more than willing to take your game from you.
Boy, ain't that the truth. Sometimes, especially if you've got a big animal down like an elk and you don't have help and you're going to have to make multiple trips back in to retrieve that animal, when you approach a carcass that is down, so the remainder of your meat, when you go back the next morning, you want to have already found a place overlooking that carcass so you can see what's there, and scan around there and make sure you don't bump a bear or a lion or something else off of that carcass at close range. Give them a chance to see you, make a little noise, and if they resist, hey, they're tougher than we are. Give them their quarter and wait till they're gone.
Sure. Now let's talk about wolf hunting season. That's a whole different animal, quite literally. Tell me the dates, and I understand there's no limit. Is that right? Is that correct?
There is a per person limit. So a person can take 5 wolves in total, either by trapping or hunting or some combination. So there is a limit of 5, but statewide, cumulatively, there is no limit. so each individual could take up to 5. Not very many are successful at that, but every once in a while you find some people who are really good at it. The season is underway now, the rifle season for wolf, and it extends to March 15th.
Perfect. Anything else you think our listeners need to know just to make sure they're safe and have fun while they're out there hunting?
Well, bring layers of clothing. That's kind of a key. You're going to start out in the morning when it's really cold, and by the time you get into mid-morning, especially days like this, you're going to be way too hot, and so make sure to have layers. If you get stuck outside overnight and those things sneak up on you, you want to have layers so that you can make it through the night okay.
How about hunting alone?
Well, a lot of people do it. A lot of people hunt alone, and I wouldn't advise people not to do it, but I would advise that if you're new to hunting and if you're not very experienced at hunting, have a partner. The person who hunts alone is more likely to be approached by predators and doesn't have the help that they might need if they get an animal down, and doesn't have the support system they might need if you get turned around out there, which is certainly possible.
Now, what about is it wise to let folks know where you're going, when you're expected back?
Yeah, good point. You definitely want to make sure somebody knows where you're headed out in the morning and when you're expected back, so that they have a notion of when they should call for help and have somebody looking for you.